Hey everyone, Andy Raffel from eTeknix.com, and today we're looking at a chassis that is kind of different from your norm. Normally you'd see us looking at a tempered glass chassis, or something with RGB, or most commonly, both. Today, however, GameMax have sent over the Silent. That's what its name is, so I'm pretty sure you can guess where this is going. It's a silent chassis aimed for people who want the no frills option. So let's jump in and take a look at the GameMax Silent. Having great cooling performance is pretty easy these days. You just give your system big radiators and massive amounts of airflow. Having a flashy system is pretty easy too. Just make a wish to the RGB gods. Of course, that's not something everyone wants to do, and if you're eager to build a system that's rarely seen or heard, the GameMax Silent may be a great choice for your next system build. Building an understated and quiet system certainly has its own pitfalls, but it also has its benefits. If you're working in a quiet room, you don't want to hear fans blaring from your hardware. If you're working in an office, RGB rainbows likely aren't the best choice for your build either. The GameMax Silent solves a few of these issues with ease, featuring an enclosed design with no windows. That's right, 2018 and we found a chassis with no tempered glass and no RGB. Madness! Instead of windows, the focus is on noise dampening materials, an extra layer of padding that soaks up those vibrations and sound waves from within your system. It's not going to perform miracles when it comes to noise reduction, but it certainly does make a difference. The exterior design of the chassis is pretty simple, but it's not without its charm. It may be an affordable product, but little touches such as a textured front panel and the full width feet on the base all add up to giving it a bit more mystique and presence, while still staying quite understated. I think it looks a bit like the Fractal design range, and if that was intentional or not, doesn't really matter, because it looks great even at a much lower price point. Airflow is a vital component of any system, and the Silent uses side ventilation for the fans, which reduces noise, still provides lots of airflow, and also keeps the front panel looking neat and tidy. It's easy to get the air into the chassis, but what about getting it back out again? Well, the top panel is covered with some dampening materials by default, keeping things sealed up tight. Of course, you can remove them to open it up and use that space to mount a 240mm radiator, some extra fans, or just allow for passive ventilation. There is plenty of room up front for a radiator too, but it's most likely suited to slim AIO designs rather than a custom loop, as this isn't the biggest chassis in the world. Airflow looks pretty decent, with front side vents and plenty of exhaust with the top vents and the rear 120mm fan that comes included. However, if you really want to take control of your fan speeds, the built-in fan controller will allow you to increase airflow at will or turn everything down for even quieter performance. Lurking behind that solid side panel is a pretty tidy looking interior. It's nothing too fancy, but it's certainly functional. There's no fancy rubber grommets, but honestly it doesn't need them, as you can't really see inside anyway. It's nice to see a PSU shroud, but why there's a PSU shroud at all, I'm not quite sure, since the entire interior is hidden from view anyway. Perhaps GameMax used the same interior for two models of the chassis, but I can't be certain on that one. Building a great looking PC is easy in the chassis. Again, not that you'll see it, but that's besides the point. What's really important is that you don't hear it. With all that noise dampening hardware built into it, it really does do a great job of reducing noise, cutting out the buzz and whir of fans and other components, while letting you stay focused on your Facebook habits and dank memes. There's room for even the biggest graphics cards on the market, and still room for a radiator or fans up front. Of course, the thickness of the radiator is limited by the PSU shroud cutout, and you'll have to pick a GPU that doesn't exceed that, especially if you're water cooling. Fitting a 240mm AIO up top was easy enough, and much less complicated than trying to navigate the GPU to install one in the front anyway. So if I was going to do it, I'd definitely be looking at putting it in the top rather than the front. Cable routing is excellent and plentiful. Routing holes help ensure your airflow is unhindered throughout the whole build. It's so tidy looking since all of the storage mounts are hidden around the back, with dedicated 2.5-inch drive mounts for those that need them, as well as larger 3.5-inch mounts located under the PSU cover. Overall, this is a great looking chassis, both inside and out. If anything, it's almost a shame that it doesn't have a side panel window. We've built a system that anyone would be proud to show off here. Of course, it's not about outlandish designs, it's more about one thing and one thing only: silence. The end product is a chassis that looks and performs like a premium quality product, but it's unlikely to attract your attention on a day-to-day basis. If you like your high-end system that's rarely seen and not heard, then the GameMax Silent is going to appeal to you in a very big way.
So there you go, guys. As you can see, it's a pretty good chassis and it has some kind of upper class features that you'd expect. And for the money, you can't really complain too much. So I guess some of the niggly little things, we can kind of see past them purely because this is a £50 chassis. It does what it says on the tin. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to subscribe to get great video content like this directly to your inbox. Remember to give us a thumbs up, comment below, and we'll see you in the next video. See you later.